Thanks for visiting our channel again. Classic Hollywood great Gregory Peck may appear to the audience as the very definition of perfection, a charismatic, morally upright actor. Thanks to his memorable performances as a man of integrity in films like To Kill a Mockingbird and Roman Holiday. Underneath Peck's formidable persona and impressive resume were deep sorrows, tragic losses, and unresolved grief. Tragedies in his family, such as his son's tragic death and his own unstable background, forced him to persevere amid the glamour of Hollywood. How is it that Gregory Peck was able to become a symbol of compassion while standing steady in the face of such terrible trials? Come with us as we delve into Gregory Peck's story of strength and resilience. In the quiet times when he confronted and conquered his personal demons, as much as in his iconic parts. Background: Gregory Peck came into this world in La Jolla, California on April 5, 1916. He was born into a complicated family. Gregory Pearl Peck was born and raised in Rochester, New York, where his father worked as a pharmacist. He was born into a family with Irish and English heritage, and his mother, Bernice May Bunny, was of Scottish and English descent. Peck was brought up in a typical household setting, where his mother became a Catholic to match his father's beliefs. But there were tensions that a little child like Gregory couldn't fathom beyond the surface of their seemingly perfect middle-class family. Peck's world was flipped upside down when, at the tender age of 5, his parents split up. Catherine Ashe, Gregory's grandma, took him in because neither parent desired custody. Because they went to the movies every weekend, Peck's grandmother was the one who first exposed him to the cinema. These were the quiet times during Peck's otherwise chaotic youth, and they were also the ones where his ambition to make it big on screen first took root. But that wasn't the last loss. While he was a student at the Los Angeles-based Catholic Military Academy, St. John's Military Academy, his grandma died. Peck, who was just 10 years old at the time, had to confront feelings of isolation and grief again. Despite moving back home with his dad in San Diego, Gregory grew increasingly reclusive and found comfort in cinema stories as a result of the emotional wounds produced by these successive experiences. After finishing high school in San Diego in 1934, Peck enrolled in San Diego State Teachers College, where he became involved in athletics, discovered a passion for theater, and joined the track team. Before he became one of the most beloved performers, Gregory had no idea how powerful his voice was or how well he could connect with an audience until this moment. He changed his major to pre-med at Berkeley in 1936 and transferred to the University of California, Berkeley. But Gregory's trajectory shifted while he was a Berkeley student. Taking a public speaking lesson and receiving encouragement from Edwin Dewar, the director of the school's Little Theater, helped him eventually find his passion for acting. Even though his loved ones were worried about Gregory Peck's future, he decided to forego medical school and pursue a career in theater. Gregory Peck uprooted his life in Berkeley and headed for New York in search of acting stardom. Because he was strapped for cash, he slept in Central Park and picked up odd jobs to get by. In spite of all that came his way, Peck emerged from those trying months a stronger person, able to overcome obstacles in his personal and professional life and cement his place in Hollywood history as an icon of resilience. Early career: Gregory Peck's harrowing quest to discover his place in the theater business began after he arrived in New York with the aim of becoming an actor. After enrolling at the local playhouse, he studied acting with Sanford Meisner, a true master of the craft. Peck learned from Meisner that acting is about more than just playing a role. It's also about establishing an authentic connection with the audience through one's own feelings and those of the character. Peck spent all of his spare time in the beginning studying and performing, and he had to work odd jobs like modeling, handing out flyers, and giving tours at Rockefeller Center just to make ends meet. Gregory Peck made his stage debut in 1941's The Doctor's Dilemma, a play by George Bernard Shaw. Peck gained valuable experience and insight into his career trajectory from this part, even though it did not garner him much praise. Persevering in his pursuit of possibilities, he appeared in Broadway productions such as The Morning Star and The Willow and I. Peck became well known in the New York City art scene and refined his acting chops via his many roles. Peck was ineligible to serve in the military due to a back ailment he sustained in a dance class with Martha Graham. Yet he was drafted along with many other performers of his time when World War II broke out. While others may have viewed this as a disappointment, Peck decided to use it as a springboard to pursue acting professionally. Producers noticed Peck because of his strong physical appearance and genuine acting approach, which helped fill Hollywood's need for new talent at the time. A prosperous professional life. One of Hollywood's groundbreaking pictures in 1947, Gentleman's Agreement further cemented Gregory Peck's fame by tackling the delicate subject of racial discrimination. Peck assumed the role of a Jewish journalist who hid his identity in order to witness the bigotry in his own country. Playing this part called for acting prowess, as well as the guts to tackle the social issues of the period. Peck considered it one of his most satisfying efforts to date, and the picture earned 8 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Also, to show how versatile he was as an actor, Peck tried his hand at a number of different parts. Unlike the virtuous roles he frequently played, his 1946 film Duel in the Sun had him portraying a defiant cowboy who questioned established moral codes. Critics and spectators alike were impressed by Peck's daring in exploring multidimensional individuals, even if the picture was met with mixed reviews. Peck co-founded his hometown's La Jolla Playhouse in the late 1940s, while also focusing on his acting career. Mel Ferrer and Dorothy McGuire were among the Hollywood actors who benefited from Peck's creation of a sanctuary where they could recharge, get ideas, and make meaningful contributions to the theater. The La Jolla Playhouse was a significant aspect of Peck's career, spanning performances at the La Jolla High School Auditorium until its 1983 relocation to the University of California, San Diego. It reflected his profound connection to his roots and love of the stage. 12 O'Clock High, a military picture on leadership and the challenges endured by soldiers during World War II, was Peck's 1949 follow-up to his successful 1944 film. Peck once again demonstrated his versatile acting abilities as he played a commander in the Air Force, displaying a combination of strictness and sympathy. He was nominated for 4 Oscars for this role, not to mention the film's commercial and critical success. As the 1950s and 1960s rolled around, Gregory Peck continued to thrive and maintain his prominence. Thanks to his natural charisma and acting chops, he became a movie legend. This was the zenith of Peck's career, when he made an indelible mark on viewers and reviewers alike. Playing the role of a courageous, loyal, and accountable captain, Peck became famous in 1951 with Captain Horatio Hornblower. He became known for playing heroic, upright characters, and this part helped solidify that reputation. In the same year, he showed his versatility as an actor by playing King David in the biblical picture David and Bathsheba, which dealt with deep emotions and personal conflicts. In Roman Holiday, 1953, Gregory Peck played Joe Bradley, a role that has become synonymous with his name. A reporter and a young Roman princess go on a short but passionate adventure in this film, which stars Audrey Hepburn. Not only was Roman Holiday a huge financial success, but it also won Peck a Golden Globe. The film is considered a masterpiece of international cinema because of Peck's performance as Joe Bradley, which highlighted his charisma, comedy, and incredible chemistry with Audrey Hepburn. Films like The Guns of Navarone, 1961, Cape Fear, 1962, and The Omen, 1976, showcased Peck's flexibility throughout the 1960s. Peck portrayed the role of Keith Mallory in the big war picture The Guns of Navarone, which had intense action sequences. Someone who leads with brilliance and bravery. Commercially and critically, the picture was a smashing hit, solidifying Peck's status as one of the most prominent actors in action and war flicks. But Gregory Peck's 1962 performance as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird was the most memorable and lasting part of his acting career. Many believe this part to be Peck's finest, and it was for which he was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar. Thatcher Finch, a courageous and upright lawyer who stood up for justice in the face of the racist South in the United States, became an icon of those qualities. The audience saw a hero and a father figure in Peck's portrayal of Atticus because of the sincerity, empathy, and love he had for his children. Not only did he win an Oscar for this portrayal, but he also won a BAFTA and was named one of the best actors of all time by the American Film Institute. Many accolades were bestowed upon Gregory Peck during the course of his career. Along with the Academy Award and Golden Globe, he received other honors in 1998, including the National Medal of Arts, the American Film Institute Lifetime Achievement Award, and the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award. In addition to recognizing his skill, these accolades highlighted his impact on film and society. A man of honor and bravery, Gregory Peck was more than simply a Hollywood actor. His acting chops were certainly a factor, but so was his aptitude for making audiences feel something beyond the surface level. As one of the most iconic figures in Hollywood history, Gregory Peck made an unforgettable impression with his charisma, skill, and modesty. Behind the glamorous facade of a Hollywood star, Gregory Peck had a real life of relationships and highs and lows that were just as dramatic as his on-screen personas. Peck wed Greta Kokkonen, a businesswoman from Finland who was 5 years his senior, in 1942. Carrie, Paul, Jonathan, and Stephen were born to this union. But they still had problems in their relationship, and their differences grew until they were impossible to overcome. Greta formally filed for a divorce in 1955 after a 13-year marriage. In spite of this, they kept in touch and stayed friendly for the benefit of their kids. Véronique Passani was a French journalist who interviewed Gregory Peck for François in 1952. They would later become Gregory Peck's second wife. Their meeting ignited a fiery affair, and they were married on New Year's Eve in 1955, just 2 years after he divorced Greta and Véronique. Peck passed away in 2003 after a 48-year love affair. The Peck children, Anthony and Cecilia, were born of this union. In addition to being an incredibly loving wife, Véronique was an ardent advocate for the arts and humanitarian causes. Among her many accomplishments, she was an ardent supporter of the Los Angeles Public Library's fundraising efforts, helped found the Inner City Cultural Center and the Los Angeles Music Center. In the 1960s, she and Gregory confirmed their significant position in social and charitable endeavors by contributing almost $50 million to the American Cancer Society. Having said that, Peck's private life was not all roses and happy endings. Tragedies of a significant nature also befell him. Jonathan Peck's suicide in 1975, when he was 31 years old, was a devastating blow to Gregory and his family. A young man brimming with energy and aspirations, Jonathan came into this world in 1944. Joining the Peace Corps and devoting years to building a Swahili agriculture education program in Tanzania was Jonathan's less conventional choice after finishing college. This exemplified Jonathan's genuine desire to make a positive impact on the community. Jonathan returned to California and immediately began working for several television and radio stations, pursuing a career in the media. But Jonathan had hidden demons that few knew about, despite his responsible and accomplished exterior. He suffered from chronic low self-esteem and was plagued by relentless negative thoughts. Despite his best efforts to uphold the principles that his father, Gregory Peck, had taught him, he was a devoted son. Jonathan had fought arteriosclerosis, a disease that sapped his strength and happiness, and the anguish of a broken love relationship. Jonathan, at the young age of 31, took his own life by shooting in the summer of 1975 after a night consumed by sorrow and hopelessness. For Gregory Peck and his family, this was a shocking development. After Jonathan passed away, Gregory Peck took a 2-year hiatus from acting to be with his family. This was something he talked about in an interview at the time, and alleviate his suffering. Peck had to face a feeling of hopelessness and an insurmountable hole during those months. He wanted to cure himself and his family, so he avoided the limelight of Hollywood. The emotional toll of the tragedy was so great that Peck reportedly sought out psychiatric help at a local hospital. But that wasn't the last tragedy that befell Gregory Peck's family. Like his father, Anthony Peck's youngest son also battled alcoholism for a long time. While Peck's career was settling into a steady state in the 90s, he saw Anthony spiral into terrible habits. Supermodel Cheryl Tiegs was Tony's wife, and the couple lived the high life in Hollywood. Tony was a talented young man, and his family thought the world of him. Tony battled alcoholism behind his successful persona. It caused him to lose touch with himself and his relationships over and over again. It was Tony's own problems that led to the dissolution of his marriage to Cheryl Tiegs. Divorce was a wake-up call that caused Tony to think on his life and confront his mistakes. It was also an emotional wound. Gregory Peck stayed at his side during that period, having already felt the grief of losing Jonathan. Attempting to alleviate his son's struggles, Tony came to the realization that he could be causing his father to endure another devastating loss if he persisted in that course of action. After coming to this conclusion, Tony decided to stop drinking, get his life in order, and start over professionally. Gregory Peck was a doting father who strived to set a good example for his children. Stephen Peck, his second son, dabbled in theater before discovering his calling, serving the homeless. Stephen became a prominent figure in the social movement and devoted a great deal of his time to helping the downtrodden. Peck and Veronique's youngest child, Cecilia, continued the creative tradition in the family by becoming an actress and director, just like her famous father. No matter how bad things became in Gregory Peck's personal life, he never gave in to despair. Love, patience, and compassion were his guiding principles instead. Gregory Peck gained a stronger character and a more profound comprehension of love, human values, and life as a result of these setbacks. These traits are what made Gregory Peck an icon in real life as well as in Hollywood. Aside from his legendary status in Hollywood, Gregory Peck had a major impact on society as a whole through his work in politics, social justice, and humanitarianism. Peck was not hesitant to utilize his platform to challenge prevailing views and bring attention to important social concerns, even if he was famous for his artistic accomplishments. Among Hollywood's trailblazers in the struggle against injustice and oppression, Peck emerged in the 1940s. In 1947, during the height of the Red Scare, he bravely faced the House Un-American Activities Committee head-on. No matter the cost to his profession, Peck was willing to stand up for justice because he thought artists should defend free speech. During the turbulent civil rights era of the 1960s, Peck solidified his position as an industry trailblazer and social trailblazer as well. In addition to being a work of art, his performance in To Kill a Mockingbird was a powerful statement on the importance of equality and justice. Actor Gregory Peck's portrayal of Atticus Finch inspired viewers of all ages to reject bigotry and injustice by serving as a symbol of honesty and the will to fight for justice. For his work in advancing social justice and equality, President Lyndon B. Johnson presented Gregory Peck with the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, in 1969. He was an ardent supporter of humanitarian causes and organizations throughout his life. Peck held the positions of president and chairman of the American Film Institute's Board of Trustees, as well as those of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Through his work in these capacities, he was able to uphold and advance human ideals while also bolstering the growth of cinematic art. Furthermore, Peck was an outspoken opponent of the Vietnam War. Although Peck was well aware that voicing his opinion would incite strong opposition, he chose to stay silent nonetheless. Despite openly opposing the war, he showed compassion and sympathy for the troops who had served. Gregory Peck always tried to find a middle ground between his anti-war views and his patriotism by supporting soldiers and allied humanitarian groups. His son, Stephen Peck, was also a Vietnam War veteran. In addition, Peck and Veronique Pisani's fundraising efforts in the 1960s brought in almost $50 million for the American Cancer Society. Along with her husband, Veronique was an invaluable ally in Peck's philanthropic endeavors. The two of them co-founded the Los Angeles-based Inner-City Cultural Center to serve immigrant and minority populations by providing them with access to the arts. Using his platform to advocate for up-and-coming artists and independent filmmakers was a major contribution of Peck's. Peck opened several doors for up-and-coming artists while serving as American Film Institute chairman of the Board of Trustees. The importance of training programs and encouraging fresh talent in the industry was greatly influenced by his unwavering belief that cinematic art needs to continuously evolve and innovate. Succession and last years. In the late 90s, Peck decided to retire from performing and devote himself full-time to his family and philanthropic work. Despite his retirement from acting, he remained active in the entertainment industry through hosting events, accepting awards, and participating in his favorite social activities. The time that Peck spent with his loved ones was precious to him. He made it a point to spend time with his loved ones, passing on the principles he had learned from them. His son, Stephen Peck, has said that Gregory Peck was a wonderful dad, and that in his latter years, he devoted himself entirely to his loved ones. He had the chance to spend time with his grandchildren, played tennis with Stephen, and enjoyed life in a meaningful and simple way over lunch. As a father, grandpa, and role model for kindness and patience, Peck was an integral part of his family's lives. After a brief illness with pneumonia, Gregory Peck died quietly in his sleep at his Los Angeles home in 2003. His loved ones and admirers are mourning his death at the age of 87, which has left them with profound respect and sadness. His wife of nearly half a century, Veronique, was there for him, providing comfort in his last moments. Celebrities from all across Hollywood gathered for Peck's burial. They came to honor an American cinema icon. Harrison Ford, Tony Danza, Michael York, and Harry Belafonte were among the notable individuals who came to say their last goodbyes to their beloved colleague and friend. The Gregory Peck Award for Cinematic Excellence was instituted by Gregory Peck's family in memory of their late husband after his passing. Dingle, Ireland, Peck's family hometown, is the site of the original presentation of this accolade during the Dingle International Film Festival. Prior to relocating to his hometown of San Diego for the 2014 San Diego International Film Festival. Presenters of the award include Gabriel Byrne, Laura Dern, Alan Arkin, Annette Bening, and Patrick Stewart, among numerous other notable figures in the film business. These honorees are living examples of the genuine passion and commitment to the art form that Gregory Peck left behind. Having a deep impact on generations of actors and audiences is just as important as the accolades and successes that Gregory Peck received when considering his legacy. He gave his everything to the role of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, an exemplary figure for individuals battling for equality. The American Film Institute named this character one of the all-time greats in cinema. Immortalized in popular culture as a symbol of a fearless attorney who refused to back down from a fight against wrongdoing. Not only will Gregory Peck be remembered for his stellar performances, but also for his kind nature and dedication to solving global problems. He demonstrated that a Hollywood actor could transcend the silver screen and become an advocate for social justice, compassion, and the rights of the poor. His indelible mark on the world will forever be a reminder of the transformative potential of art and mankind. I appreciate you tuning in. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Post a comment and express your ideas. Looking forward to seeing you in our upcoming video. Leave it.